What's up, Insane Rhetoric? What's going on? What's going on? How y'all be? How y'all be? What's happening? What's happening? You know what it is. The world is upside down. We're trying to turn it right side up. Good morning, Pinky. Or are you the brain? Probably both. Good
What are
morning.
we gonna what are we gonna do today?
Try to take over the world.
Huh?
What's happening? What's happening? How you be?
I'm good. It's all good in my neighborhood.
We gonna sing
Got
the song?
strange people.
We gonna sing the song?
No.
It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. You're growing inside. That's enough.
Okay.
So what's been going on in your world? What's good?
And everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I can't sweat the small stuff.
You know, somebody wrote a book about that. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Oh, really?
Mhm. Yep. Don't sweat the small stuff. I got that book. It's pretty good too. It's probably maybe 200 pages, maybe. Little short, little book. It's pretty thick. It's nice. But it's like it's like set up like a devotional Bible. You know what I'm saying? It's not a Bible, but it's like set up like that, like from day one, day two, as you go through the year, gives you different things about what not to worry about and trip off of. It's pretty good. I done read it twice. So what's up with your people in Ukraine? They still ain't got rid of the
Okay, so
bomb.
I got something I want to talk about.
Okay. Only here at Insane Rhetoric, where it is clearly insane. What's up? What's the word?
So let me just tell y'all this. I,
Oh, this is gonna be a great topic.
I had told y'all okay, let me say it in proper English. I've told you all before that you better not come for me.
Mm, mm, mm.
Okay. I've told you all before. You should not come for me. When you come for me, okay, so my co-host, he won't go with you in your madness the same way that I don't go with you in your madness. So when you talk to him, it appears that he put you in your place right away and walked away. And I'm gonna tell y'all about me. So because clearly y'all don't be listening.
Oh Lord.
Okay. Me, I will engage with you in your madness for a second. Because I'm gonna hear you out. Let me say it in proper English. I am going to hear you out. I will hear you out. I will hear your side. Let me tell y'all something. Okay, let me say it in proper English. Let me say this to you. I've told you before that you must watch how you speak to me and what you say, because I'm not having that. So when you engage with us on our social media pages,
Mhm.
let me just tell you that 7 times out of 10, it's probably me who's responding. I'm gonna put my glass up. So I will allow you to engage for a second. And then I'm going to shut that shit down. Okay. And it is important that you do your research about insane rhetoric before you spout off whatever it is you're going to spout off. I'm talking to you, listener. Subscribe, like, follow right now. It's a request, not an order.
So who did it and what they do it for? That's what I'm waiting on. Because this right here, this is called a teachable moment. You know how I used to be when you get jacked up in school and your teacher had to pull you to the side and get you together. She getting somebody together.
So recently on Insane Rhetoric,
Mhm.
I posted something for us. Our ideology. It was a picture of me with what appeared to be a Band-Aid over my mouth.
Mhm.
Across the Band-Aid were the words, everybody, stop talking, please.
I can figure that out.
Okay,
Like,
along with that picture, it was a reel, a video.
mhm.
So it started with that picture. And along with that picture was a picture of the words Black Lives Matter, no gun violence, Roe versus Wade, you know, a picture of, you know, people protesting in front of the
Mhm.
Capitol for Roe versus Wade. Okay.
Hot topics of the time right now.
There was a picture of Ukraine,
Mhm.
something going on in Ukraine. Okay. And there was a picture of the green ribbon for Mental Health Month, which
Mhm.
is May is Mental Health Month.
That I didn't know. You told me something. I didn't know that May was mental health month.
The music that went along with this reel was, you could get with this or you could get with that. You could get with this
Classic.
or you could get with that. You could get with this or you could
Or
get
you
with
can get
that.
with
You could get with this or you could get with that.
that.
Oh, you could get
You
with
should get
this.
with
Oh,
this.
I'm sorry. Okay, okay, sorry.
You should get with this because this is where it's at. Insane rhetoric.
There were several people that came and liked the post because they got it. The narrative, the words to the caption to it said, it's time to change the narrative, right?
Right.
It's time to change the narrative. Violence is not the answer, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Y'all see my Charlie Brown face?
Clearly they do.
It's time to change the narrative. Let's stop talking and do something positive for change together and vote.
That's a simple, shameless understanding.
So let me tell you about this idiot.
Here we go. Here we go.
He came on and said, Let me tell you what his name. His name is Anthony Pignatelli.
He sounds Italian.
Now, by the way, his posts are not public. You can't. You can. He have to invite you to follow him back.
Mm.
This pig named, yeah, I called you a pig because I called you a pig. I called you a pig on Insane Rhetoric because you called me a slave. Let me tell y'all something. Don't call me a slave because you look at my face and see me as being an African American. Don't call me a slave. His comment initially was, "You have been propagandized. Good job." That was the initial. So I engaged. I said, Christian right? I asked him, was he a Christian right? And I said, only asking, since your comment about caring about violence in the world is your words, propaganda. I wanted to know if he was a Christian right, because I'm talking about stopping violence and you told me it was propaganda.
Mm-hmm. And that just shows you the ignorance of people before they even look into and try to understand something. They jump off the deep end about it. So
yeah. So he came back. He said Black Lives Matter is a corrupt money laundering scheme. Look up the multi-million-dollar houses that they just bought. Banning guns won't stop mass shooting. My post didn't say nothing about banning guns.
Nothing. That shows you like a person don't read with understanding. You know what I'm saying? There's just a lot of people that's out there that's like that. They don't comprehend well at all. You don't know how to address the issue.
He was heralding Kyle Rittenhouse. He said banning guns won't stop mass shootings. Guess who stopped the last one? A guy with a gun. He said critical race theory is literally teaching children to hate themselves for being white. You have been brainwashed. Okay, so he started with propaganda, and then he went into being brainwashed. You think you're the resistance. Yeah, you promote everything the media tells you to. I'm Catholic. Does that offend you? Okay, I didn't respond to the Catholic part because I was already aware that it was my face of me being Black that was part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I
yeah, he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
He came back with another point on critical race theory is that China did the same thing when they were pushing to become communist. They tore down statues, taught people to hate their own culture, etc. Look up Edward Bernays, also dubbed the father of propaganda. You ready?
Mm.
You're a slave and you don't even know it.
Well, like I said, his last name sounds Italian, so that's to be expected because Italians, the history of the Italian families and all those people that came over here in the early 40s and 50s, they didn't like Black people at all, so that's the jump off point. Actually, the guy that he referenced, he's not the father of communism. Actually, Karl Marx was. And that guy actually followed Karl Marx. But
Listen, I did not have enough space
to tear into
to
him.
correct him and tear into him
Right.
in a way that I really wanted to and needed to tear into him, because like I said, let's go on back to Catholic. You're assuming because the face you saw on the front of that reel was a Black woman, that I must have been of a Baptist or Pentecostal
movement
persuasion.
Kojic and all them, and that's not the not the case at all. I mean, well,
let's just put the record straight in case he decided to come on here and listen. Anthony Pignatelli and everybody else just like them, I happen to be Anglican.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what that means,
or if you can't spell it, get somebody to help you.
I was born and raised there.
Mm-hmm.
My co-host will tell you I have a hard time when I'm at the Baptist church.
Very, very hard. Yes.
Okay. I will attend anybody's church.
She don't even listen to me.
Preach. Come on and preach, preacher. Come on and preach, preacher.
And we've been knowing each other for years, so I mean, she don't even listen. So what you saying, dude, don't make no sense.
He went on to talk about NATO. I just told him he was mentally ill. And I called him a pig. And I told him I didn't mind calling him a pig because he chose to name call. And that's the problem. Yeah. We don't want to have a real conversation. We just want to turn around and name call each other.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to shoot at the Catholics, it's a lot that you could shoot at them for. Anybody, and this is just one of the issues that the Catholics has always had. And don't get me wrong, I have some Catholic friends. I got some people that I know that are close to me that are Catholic, and I love the way they put their religion together and their ideology on some things. But if you understand the backstory of some of the Catholics, you devised the whole religion to not get married, to be devout to God. And in that, when he said you should marry, you went against it. And then now here's years of catacombs and corridors in the bottom of Catholic churches, who they have found many children that has been aborted, and many priests that has been slandered for whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? So really, the Catholic Church don't have a leg to stand on, other than most of the world is Catholic. Because if you understand there is no such thing as denominations, and people who understand and study understand that there are only two. There only is the Roman Catholic Church, the Catholic Church, and then what you call Protestants. Everything else
falls under one of those.
Of one of those. But most people don't understand that, because they are, I'm Baptist. No, that's not.
You're Protestant.
Because if you're not Roman Catholic or Catholic, you fall under the umbrella of Protestant. Now, if you don't know what that means, then I admonish you to go look that up, and you can find out deeper what you need to know about what you believe.
I will let y'all know that it took me 14 comments to shut him down. But he finally shut up, because I finally said, I'm not going to entertain your rantings here at Insane Rhetoric. I'm going to need y'all, when y'all look at our social media, anything we have, I'm going to need you to look at it because it's clear that he didn't take the time before he spouted off whatever he wanted to spout. Because as I told him, freedom of speech goes two ways. You can't just come on my social media and spout whatever you want to spout and call me a slave, motherfucker. I'm sorry.
Oh,
If you have not looked at the post, because I revealed something about myself, something else about myself on our Instagram. And if you had just looked at the post, you would have seen my voting preference.
but see,
Again, which goes against the grain of African American.
okay. So let's change the demographic on that. You and I know, because we research things and we read all the time. We are very well-read people on this show. You and I know during slavery, when black people did get a chance to vote, were Republican. You and I know that.
And prior to slavery.
And prior to slavery.
When they were voting.
They were
voting.
So
they were already members of Congress.
Right. So what happened was the parties switched. But in knowing that
parties didn't switch.
They didn't switch.
The parties didn't switch. I'm sorry, co-host. The parties didn't switch.
You're right. I said the wrong thing. They did not switch.
The people switched.
Switched, exactly.
Because of the ideology
mm-hmm.
that was being supported on the opposite side. They switched to promote that person.
Right, exactly. You're right.
And then they just stayed there.
Right. They didn't revert back to what they originally was at all. But Black people were always Republican. First. And if you look at what's happening in the Democratic races now, it's the same garbage. They support who they think holds their views, even if some of the views are wrong. And when
that's black or white or brown or purple.
Yeah, that's the name.
All support who we think supports our view.
Sure,
that's the whole purpose of voting.
That's absolutely correct. So, for you to say, for that person to say that you're wrong for being a Republican, that shows the ignorance of the person right there, because they don't know the backdrop of that story.
But they never bothered to go look. They just saw my face with this Band-Aid on, decided they would call me a slave, that I was propaganda for Black Lives Matter. Again, it shows that you've never listened to this show.
Yeah.
I was talking to some people the other day, and I was talking about how I don't like to have to label myself. I'm not afraid of being African American. I am very proud of being Black. I'm Black pop. Okay. However, I don't see why it's necessary for me to always have to start with that I am a Black woman. I should not have to do that anymore.
Man,
I am an American is what I am. I don't like having to, I don't like that I have to put it on top of the conversation.
And I get what you're saying, but whose fault is that? It ain't our fault. They the ones that brought our ancestors over here to build what is called the United States, along with the Asian peoples, to build the railroads and all these different things. So it's not our fault that we over here and that we didn't got good at what anything and everything that we do. You know what I'm saying? Now you want to send us back. But this is the thing. You ain't even from here either. So
I'm talking about, I finally said, you pig, you idiot. I'm talking about the fact that we have had thousands of people on either side to have been harmed. These children here recently in Texas were gunned down behind mental illness.
but see, like they don't care about that. And I'm not saying all
He
of
didn't,
them.
because it took him a long time to say, I'm not saying violence is wrong. It took him almost them whole 14 comments to finally say, I'm not saying violence isn't wrong. I'm saying,
see, the problem is this: until the world realizes that we're all human and we all have flaws and we are all going to have some issues with other people, nobody can take the Band-Aid off. Because
they need to leave the Band-Aid on. Leave the Band-Aid on. Just stop talking.
Just stop talking, because
everybody's talking all at once.
Yep.
That's what that Band-Aid picture meant.
White noise.
Everybody stop talking.
Yeah, white noise.
Because you're talking about everything all at once and everyone's not waiting for the other person to talk. We're all talking at one time.
One time. Yep. And it's crazy, that you can't.
Do you think these children that recently died here in Texas, in Uvalde, Texas, deserve to die because this boy's mental illness was overlooked? He was in a teen chat room.
I hope he says yes, because then that's another conversation you need to have with him.
This boy was in a teen chat room chatting things like, I'm gonna rape you. Whenever some girl wouldn't, be excited about his advances. They talked about him at the Wendy's where he worked and how he was ugly to the women and just said rude, ugly things. He turns 18, he goes out and buys a handgun the very next day. And then he goes directly down to the elementary school and kills.
After shooting his grandmother.
21 people. And the police are afraid to go in.
It's kind of funny. They was afraid to go in then when it's black.
It took an off-duty DPS officer to get the news from his buddies while he's sitting in a barbershop chair to stop everything. His barber at the barbershop gives him a gun. Because the man, you heard me say he was off duty. He goes down there to his daughter's school and he goes in with some of his friends that went on with him as he was going to save his daughter because he got out the barber chair. The police sitting out there, he goes in and he and his buddies clear the area. He goes straight to his daughter.
Is this the same daughter that made the phone call and was playing dead? Yeah.
Everybody, stop talking. Because nothing's getting accomplished.
No, it's just perpetuating
we're talking and we're not listening.
Yeah, and that's freaking everything. It's just like nobody's listening to nobody. Like if you just take the time to hear the person out, you'll find out in some instances that you are exactly the same. But when people are constantly talking, trying to raise their point or raise their view, they miss the information that's critical to actually get along and unify one another. I agree. I think people should just shut up. She said stop talking. I'll just say shut up. Just be quiet. Because if you close your mouth, you got two ears to hear more information. So I mean, it's a shame that we don't listen to one another. And then even when a person is not speaking audibly, their actions are speaking exponentially, because you see what they're going through and you still want to just run over what they're saying. They're crying out for help. Listen, I don't believe that nobody wakes up in the morning and say, I just want to go gun down somebody without prior things happening to them to get them to that point. Even mental people, the reason they are mental for some reason is because they've been packing stuff down and people have been talking about them for years or whatever. And it finally came to a breaking point. And the bad thing about that is his breaking point started at his grandmother's house and then spilled over into the school, where now 18 kids are lifeless. And that is ridiculous on every level. But see, the problem is, co-host, is people don't respect it until it happens to them. Then you want to be an advocate for everything. You want to go out and you want to protest and you want to march and blah, blah, blah. Until it comes to your doorstep, you don't care. And I have prime examples for that also. The heroin epidemic was fine just dealing with Black people, but when white people start noticing that it was increasing in their neighborhoods, then it was a problem. Now we got to do something. But now it's too late. Should have did it for everybody. So this is what you get. This is what you get. Because just like the war in the Ukraine, oh, it's gonna spill over to one of them borders of NATO. Meaning the stuff is gonna spill out. You can't contain nothing like that. So you got to help people, man.
I don't care where the violence is.
I don't either.
I don't care if it's in Ukraine. I don't care if it's in Rwanda. I don't care if it's in California, Detroit, Chicago.
Violence is violence.
Violence is violence. There was a study that came out. The results of the study have just come out. The study happened 20 years ago. They took 200 men, divided them into 3 groups. One group, they did absolutely nothing. They just studied them, studied their behavior. One group, they gave them therapy. The other group, they gave them therapy and $200. And they watched them for a set amount of time. And the final, it's taken 20 years. They've gone back and looked at these people at different, every so many years or whatever. And so now what they have discovered is that the ones that were given therapy plus $200, the rate of crime decreased exponentially.
Mm-hmm.
The ones who only received therapy, yes, they did see a change, a decrease, a small amount of decrease. And the ones who receive nothing, the violence either stayed the same or increased over time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, honey child, y'all like my southernness. Y'all like when I bring it out a little bit. Honey child, what we have been saying here on Insane Rhetoric and what many others have said, a lot of this violence and crime and all of this has to do with the disparity of people. They figuring out where they gonna eat, how they gonna eat, if they gonna eat, what they gonna eat. If I got a job, can I get a job? When I get a job, so I can figure out if I'm gonna eat, how I'm gonna eat, when I'm gonna eat, because I gotta feed these children.
Mm-hmm.
I'm selling these drugs because I gotta feed my family because I'm stealing these things from these people because it's easier than going to try to get a job because I'm not gonna get a job.
Because I got felonies.
Well, I ain't gonna tell y'all this because I can't divulge this exactly, but I recently found out a reason why I didn't get a particular job I applied for. I wasn't the right.
Shade.
No. I didn't have any alphabets behind my personality.
Mm.
Okay. That's all I can't say anymore. But
that's which is I get it, which is crazy because some of the smartest people don't have nothing behind their name. Go to a homeless person, I guess he can tell you a whole lot about your life that you don't even think that he would know, or the experiences that he had in his walk of life would put your information to the dirt. And he ain't got nothing in front of his name or after his name.
We assume a lot about people just by our perception when we meet them. And we never know a person's journey. We don't know what people are going through, why they're going through what they're going through, how they got there, whatever. We just assume way too much in first meeting someone. That's why I told you, I'm the one of the two of us who will stand there and have a quick conversation with you and then decide if I want to keep going. Mm-hmm. My co-host decides within the first 2 words.
Yeah, I'm gonna just put you in your place and go about my business because
he can hear you say hello and decide you stupid. I'm gonna go ahead on and let you talk a little minute. You know, listen, if you really paid attention to Insane Rhetoric, I'm like that in pretty much every part of my life because, excuse me, y'all. Me and my co-host had a very, very good conversation about the fact that I don't even notice if you're handsome or not. Okay, we had a whole conversation about that. We know that. We know that's me.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. They never noticed that this boy in Uvalde was mentally ill. They still trying to say he wasn't mentally ill.
Well, they always trying to say that if you anything other than Black. So and we just gonna we everybody can get a mental illness case going into court except Black people. So they always gonna say that. I mean, but you know what? The funny thing about that is, with some white people,
I ain't gonna blame everything on white people because it's a Black.
No, I said some white people. Some
okay.
white people, not all. Maybe it ain't mental illness to them because that's what their history has been.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe,
well, if you don't know something, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, so maybe they don't see it that way because that has been the nature of the beast for years.
Yeah,
So maybe they don't see it that way.
yeah.
I'm just mad that them kids are lifeless
They're lifeless.
for 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 no reason.
I'm sitting up thinking about how you can get Grandmaster Jay in jail for wielding the AR, but Kyle Rittenhouse can go free.
I don't know why you looking at that. Shoot. Look at
I,
the color. Look at the shade.
Grandmaster Jay got time.
Listen, listen.
He found guilty.
Yeah, I know it. Listen, I remember when Deion Sanders went to go see his son play in college, and the coach wouldn't put him in for some reason. Deion Sanders went down and talked to the coach and got kind of irate with him. They called Deion Sanders a terrorist and wanted to bring him up on terroristic charges. Says a lot. So I don't have the ability to express my feelings or something toward a coach concerning my son, but if it was the other way around, that wouldn't have happened at all. Says something.
Everybody, can we please stop talking
Yeah, just please shut up.
at the same time? Can we please actually do something about the violence? There's gun violence. There's violence that don't even have anything to do with guns. There's just plain violence. Listen, okay, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all. I was in a FedEx office. Do they have those around the country
Oh
called
yes.
FedEx office? Okay.
Yeah, they nationwide.
Okay. I was in a FedEx office. I was asked to scan something, and I have a scanner, but it's in storage. Long story. I'm not gonna tell y'all that longer story. I know I tell a long story, but I ain't gonna tell y'all about this scanner. Anyway, I was trying to scan something, and I went into a FedEx office. The lady, there was no computer available. So I had to wait, and I did wait, and I was okay to wait. It wasn't an issue. When the lady finished, she walked away from the computer, and I stepped up to use it. But I noticed that the card was still active. The pay card, the FedEx pay card, was still active. So I said out loud, "Oh, wait a minute. This says it's still on. It's got $5. Oh, are they finished?" I'm standing in front of the checker. She comes over and she's, I guess, perturbed and thinking that I want to use her funds. But she came over because she heard me say, "Oh, wait a minute, there's funds on here. Were they finished?" She came over because she heard me say that, but she was looking at me like I was trying to steal her lunch money. That was the first problem. Then she looked at me in terror and she said, "Is something wrong with you?" That lady actually picked a fight with me in the FedEx office because I said, let me tell you what I said. I said, "Oh, well, let me move out of your way. Should I move out of your way or were you finished?" Y'all, my co-host know I ain't lying. He was on the phone with me.
Yeah.
He was on the other line saying, "What's wrong with her?"
I would have been like, use her funds.
She kept talking stupid to me. I said, I got right in her face. I said, because I couldn't hear because she had a mask on. And I was like, "What? Huh? What did you say?" Are you really angry with me because I'm trying to move out of the way? What's the problem? What's wrong with you? I don't understand. Why are you mad at me?
That's stupid. Stupid. Because somebody doesn't listen. And in all actuality, you trying to let her know that, hey, you left money on her, and I'm hoping you either done or you finna finish up, but don't forget your money. You know what I'm saying? And anybody else probably would have just used her stuff up to their benefit. But they don't see stuff like that. They think that that black people are are criminals just because or whatever. They're not honest at all, which is
And she
far
was
from
of
true.
Spanish persuasion.
And that's and see that's even the more. I mean, because everybody has that persona about black people. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, they are now some people like some of them do well to do for themselves, but as a whole, they are some of the brokest people on the planet.
Let me tell you something. We did a show about the effects of COVID. We were talking about something and we brought up the effects of COVID making everybody stir crazy, and it brought out these types of strange emotions in people.
Mm-hmm.
We are a year, 2 years out away from COVID. COVID, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But what happened is these traits people are no longer able to hide them.
Nope.
Since COVID,
Nope.
people are no longer able to hide how they are.
Mm.
Listen, COVID was wonders for me.
Me too.
It was wonders for me. I don't like to go outdoors. Okay, let's put it like this. I don't mind going outdoors, but I'm perfectly happy within myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling somebody that recently that I like myself so much. I could be alone and not be lonely. Like, I'm not lonely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I get it.
I like myself. I entertain myself. Even when I'm not entertaining myself, I'm entertaining myself.
Yeah, I get it. I'm like that. I'm like you can talk to me or not. It ain't gonna move me. It ain't gonna move me.
Because I'm gonna find something I want to do or whatever, whether it's watch the TV, whether it's to fall asleep. I'm gonna be happy in the fact that I fell asleep, got me some rest.
Yeah, it's like but see that you're right. But like this is what I remember, sister. Like if you do the research on the penitentiary and solitary confinement, in solitary confinement, it's just that it's solitary. You don't have nothing to do but entertain yourself while you're in what is called the hole. And when you're in the hole, you gotta find something to keep you occupied for that time that you're down there. Because if you don't, you will go crazy. Because most people have never ever had to look inside themselves and deal with the issues of who they are.
And it has let out a multitude of demons. Yeah, I said it, demons.
Yeah, because now you really, that 2 years, you couldn't do nothing. You had to come to grips with who you are. And when that came to grips and you either put a lid on what was bad or you took the lid off of what was bad. And when you came back out a year or so later, 2021, 22, it's you're a different type of entity now. You're something totally different. You either learn yourself and benefit from that, and then you find out what you want to do. That's just like her. You can't keep an instrument off on the shelves in the guitar centers here. Because during that time, everybody became musicians. They started learning to play different things. They started discovering talent. They started doing podcasts on different levels for different things they wanted to do, start doing, opening businesses for themselves. they learn to take that solitary confinement and be useful. But some people went the other way and let out their problems.
But that lady at FedEx, I was still calling it Kinko's. It's not Kinko's anymore. FedEx office. I said, but you sure you don't want me to move where you finished? She never answered me with the correct answer to that question. She just kept spewing ugliness about me and what was wrong with me.
And see, if you would have went off on her, not her, her. If you would have went off on her, they probably would have came to lock you up and threw away the key for something for a minor altercation. Even in their defense. But my thing is, sometimes I'm gonna tell you flat out. Sometimes you gotta get people together. You gotta get people together. You gotta let them know where you're coming from and break it down to them so they get a clear understanding on what's going on. And if I break it down to you and you don't get it, then well, you just don't get it. But after I break it down to you, you either understand and apologize or go about your way, or you just move out the way. Like I was telling somebody else that I know, a person said, I said to a person, I say, what is it better to be? Is it better to be feared or is it better to be loved? And they was like, it's better to be loved. I say, I disagree. I think it's better to be feared. Because when you're feared by people, they respect who you are. When you're loved by everybody, that gets in the way of how they view you and they try to manipulate you. So sometimes it's better be equally. But if I had my choice, I ain't gonna tell you what it would be. Figure it out. Listen to Insane Ritter and follow, like, share.
Subscribe.
Because it might tell you which one I am, and it might not.
But we have spoken on so many different topics, and the Instagram is just something that we find fascinating, or we think about, or we find funny, and then we post it, right?
Yeah.
But if you don't bother to really get to know people, that's what. See, we don't want to do that. We just want to send a quick text.
And then the funny thing about that is you're right. You want to send a quick text, and then the funny thing about it that everybody on Facebook and everybody on Instagram is your friend. No, they not.
Yeah.
It takes time to get to know me. Whew, my co-host know. It takes some time because you got to.
Yeah, because he gonna, let me tell y'all something. Because he gonna look at you, walk across the parking lot, and put you in a box. So you're gonna be waiting if you trying to get to know him.
I ain't that bad, am I?
Y'all, I was walking across the parking lot. He put me in the box. He didn't even know me. Okay. Go on back. We talked about it a couple episodes back. Go.
Listen,
y'all.
At least when I went back over there and found out for myself, I took you out the box. And I told you what it was. Sometimes you just got to go ask the question.
See what I'm saying?
I didn't have to ask the question. I found out through the glass.
See what I'm saying? Yeah.
But I told you, and I took you out the box. I will tell you, I will say, you know what? I can admit when I am wrong. You know, I don't have them type of issues. You know, if I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong. But if I don't know that I'm wrong and you ain't saying nothing that I'm wrong, because sometimes my co-host will be like,
yeah, I hold it in.
Like, I won't. Hey, I ain't no mind reader.
I explode.
Yeah, I ain't no mind reader. You better say something for your blood pressure shoot through the roof, because I look at you. Like, okay. I don't know what's wrong with you, but till you ready to die.
Yeah.
I'm not Dr. Ben Carson. I'm not going to cut your head open and then go up there and pick out the information. Just you better say something.
Yeah. So, yeah. Could y'all please just stop talking? Could y'all listen more, please? Could you actually have a conversation more? Please. Could you stop being reactive about your insecurities? Is that possible?
I don't know if that's possible. People insecurities leak out when they upset and they don't even know that they're leaking out. That's I don't know. That's
Uh,
you can only hide stuff for so long
yeah,
before it starts really showing who you are.
yeah, yeah. Well, that made me think about something else, but I probably don't need to talk about that. Okay.
Moving on. We're going to move on from this platform. So I don't know. What else we got, sister?
So I got a question.
Does it require an answer for me? Or is this to the people?
Neither one of y'all probably can't answer it.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I like those type of questions.
Y'all, can y'all tell me why the man at my job always cuss me when I come in and out the door?
He always who?
He always cuss me when I come in and out the door. Mostly it's when I'm leaving. Because, he had to validate my ticket for me to get out the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
Why you won't let me up?
The world may never know.
I know. How many licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll?
Mm-hmm. I hate Tootsie Rolls, so I never find out.
I need help, y'all. How I'm gonna get out of the building every day?
Better be nice. Hopefully, he won't be one of them people that go into a mass shoot.
He have to give me my validation ticket to get out the parking lot.
I don't know.
I knew y'all couldn't answer the question.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It ain't like you can sneak out the back gate.
I can't because I had to leave my car in the parking garage. I can't get out. I can't get out.
Who knows?
Okay, so Monique, Monique, the comedian actor. So she and Lee Daniels, they finally came together. Finally, after all these years, they finally came together and made up. They kissed and made up.
Must need some money.
She look good though, y'all. Y'all seen her? She look real good. She do the dance and workouts with this dude. And she look good. But listen, tell me why now she talking about D.L. Hughley and Steve Harvey. She talking about the contract that they had. This been in the news a long time too. The contract that she had when they did the Queens of Comedy,
Mm-hmm.
the Kings of Comedy, the Queens of Comedy, how they got more money than the Queens did, this, that, whatever, this, and this. What was held back with whatever the contract, the stipulations of the contract wasn't right for her. And she's still talking about it. And now she called D.L. Hughley a pussy. Oh, I'm sorry. Pussycat.
Listen, man.
Pussycat doll.
Listen, man. That is the most stupidest thing to go out after somebody who didn't have no.
She said he didn't stand up for them.
who negotiates their contract? They do. Either you want to take the deal or you don't. That's on you to go in there and make sure that all the language in a contract is right to your fitting, including the figures. If you're not smart enough to do that, take a lawyer. And then on top of that, still in the United States, the majority of things ran here is still a boys' club. Women have made major strides and leaps and bounds, but in certain arenas, it's still the same way. That ain't no reason for you to go after D.L. Hughley or freaking Steve Harvey. Because I know D.L. Hughley, for one, oh, he's one of them guys. He can hand it to you in a street form or he can hand it to you politically. In any way you want to go. He's very, very smart guy. So, I mean.
Okay, this is what I want to know. Okay, so the whole Lee Daniels thing and Tyler Perry, that thing, Oprah, that whole thing was tied together. And she lost a lot of contracts and stuff behind that. She was kind of blackballed in Hollywood, all of that. And then recently, like really very recently, like within the last several months, she and Lee Daniels, like they had a meeting of the minds, and I think he apologized, and they supposedly getting it back on track. But Monique has been in a few things recently. I mean, but what here's my thing. You spending a lot of time. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a comedian. I'm not famous. I'm just me having a podcast about what I think with my friends.
Not just a podcast, soon to be the #1 podcast in the country.
Because we're taking over the world. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. I just really think, I mean, it's okay. It's okay to tell people what you think, but like she been telling people what she think, these same people, for the better part of the last 20 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just miss her talent. I miss her talent.
Yeah, I'm not finna waste no time with that. Like, if you don't give me what I want, I'm gonna take it anyway. And what I mean by that is, if you don't see the value in what I do, you don't stop my value. I'm gonna find another way around it to get where I need to be, period.
I'm gonna admit, I do not know anything about the Hollywood mechanism, like how movies get made, what you gotta do to get them made. You know, Debbie Allen, one of my sheroes, she talked about how she couldn't get movies made, and when she was first entering into directing and behind the scenes and all of that, and entering into film rather than dance. And she talked about how she would go into these boardrooms with these, white people, white men with their cigars, those people, and they would look at her as, Dancing Debbie. They wanted her to do these musicals and whatever. And she said that it wasn't until she and Stephen King's children were going to the same school. And there was a event where the parents needed to be at this event. And that's how she met not Stephen King, the other one, E.T.
Oh, Spielberg.
Okay. That's how she met Steven Spielberg. And so she and Steven Spielberg became friends through their children going to school together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so in those friendship conversations, because the children are playing with each other and at each other's homes, is how she began to talk to Steven Spielberg about her idea for Amadeus.
Mm-hmm.
And it was then when she had this connection with Steven Spielberg that she was able to walk into this boardroom with these men with these cigars, the Hollywood mechanism, and get Amadeus made.
Mm-hmm. See, this is the thing. I don't care how much information you know in this society, it ain't what you know, it's who you know and how you can play the game. That's that's all any major industry is. When you're talking about the film industry, when you're talking about the music industry, it doesn't matter. It's you're only going to get seen by the connections that you know. Like you can get in front of people, but they have to have a reason to pull you. Like I say, I use one of my mentors growing up, like Too Short. Too Short put a mixtape together and went up and down the coast selling it out his trunk. He sold more than 250,000 units out his trunk. Guess what they had to do?
I had to give them a deal so they can get part of the money.
Absolutely. He made them come to him. Ray Charles, one of the only persons and producers who own they masters besides Sam Cooke and freaking Master P. You're going to come to me because I am doing so well, you have no other choice. And when they come to you, they got to bend to your rules. You go to them, you got to bend to theirs because you don't have nothing backing you. It's the name of the game.
Well, it was Sam Cooke who even taught a lot of Black musicians how to do that.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah. I'm going to go back to the original statement of this podcast. Can everybody please stop talking?
And please stop talking about stuff you don't know about.
So I think it all ties in together. I know we had changed the subject, but I think it all ties in together.
Yeah, it does. Shut up.
Yeah, I know. I like to say shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Don't you see two friends are talking? Shut up. Oh, okay.
So we're just gonna do a music slash video right here on Shut Up. You need to shut up.
Okay.
Just shut up.
You're gonna take us out of here. What you gonna do?
Shoot, I guess. Well, y'all know, Insane Rhetoric. We on all platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Amazon Music. We're on freaking everything. I don't even have the time to just tell you all the stuff we're on. We're in a lot of different countries everywhere. So
yeah.
Huh?
Italy showed up now.
Did they? Well, come on, Italy. They got good food. Italy people, Italians, they got good food. It's pasta. Oof, yes, just yummy. So listen, we on every platform, IG, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, of course, live stream. We're on Clubhouse. We got to get the Clubhouse. What is it? What is the thing? The Pimp Chronicles. The Elemental Fee Chronicles. Which chronicles is we doing in the I don't remember which chronicles we doing in the clubhouse, but yeah, we in the clubhouse. We putting that together. So, hey, if I said the wrong thing, don't be mad at me, shoes. So, just let you know, man. We just heard we just doing our thing. Insane Rhetoric. new content
Ooh.
coming to you. We working on some things, trying to get things back in order. So just remember to enjoy the ride that is Insane Rhetoric, and we out.
Bye, y'all. Peace be out. Peace be out.